30. Investigators detailing blackouts and a touch of Greek mythology in court records tied to a deadly shooting at a Pasadena area restaurant.
What we still don't know 2 weeks after the shooting is the motive. Police say Eddie Zamora was killed at a Bubba's 33 off the East Beltway. Kenneth Scott is facing charges for murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Our Liliana Pearson has been digging into court records and reports from the Harris County Jail where Scott is being held.
Investigators say that they talked to Kenneth Scott about that deadly shooting, about how it played out and why it happened. But court records show that Scott says the reason for that shooting is irrelevant.
This might be one of the strangest scenarios I've seen in my nearly 30 years of practicing law.
That was the sentiment from Eddie Zamora's lawyer when we spoke to him last week. In our latest phone call, he reaffirms that feeling in light of new details. Mike Marash was representing Zamora on allegations of molesting a family member at the time of the shooting, but now says he's been brought on as the family's spokesperson. In court records, investigators say they obtained surveillance video from inside the restaurant that shows Zamora sitting next to the Bubba's 33 host stand before getting up to hold the front door open. Authorities say moments later, Zamora runs away from the door and into the restaurant, with the alleged gunman, Kenneth Scott, chasing behind him. The documents say Scott fired the gun at Zamora, that the two struggled and people tried to intervene, but the struggle ended with Zamora on the ground and Scott standing over him, shooting into his face. Records go on to say Scott then placed 2 quarters over Zamora's eyes, took something off his person, and drove away. The next day, the Fayette County Sheriff's Department announced they had arrested Scott in Schulenburg, about 2 hours away. Court records showing the same day as his arrest, Pasadena police traveled to Fayette County to speak with Scott. They allege Scott admitted to buying the gun used in the shooting from Zamora years ago. Scott told investigators he remembers being at Bubba's with blood on him, but blacked out at the time of the shooting. Scott is also recorded as saying the reason for the shooting was irrelevant. When investigators asked Scott about putting quarters over Zamora's eyes, he would not admit to it, but said the coins were used to pay the ferryman to cross the River Styx. This most likely refers to Greek mythology, in which the dead would be buried with money to pay entry into the afterlife. Investigators say they showed the surveillance video to Scott, who did identify himself as the gunman. Attorney Marash previously told us Scott had been asking Zamora to meet him. Scott allegedly admitted to investigators he did speak with Zamora on the phone before going to Bubba's. When we spoke to Zamora's widow, she told us she feels he was targeted because of the criminal charges against him and previous court disputes with his ex-wife. Today, I spoke to Scott's lawyer over the phone. He tells me that they're still in the very early stages of this case, but they're going to work to the best of their ability as they pursue it. From downtown, I'm Liliana Pearson, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.